I, Sea Voyager. Welcome to Aeternum, an ancient land of fantastical legends. The Loreseekers, four of the finest storytellers of the New World, await your arrival. They'll spin ye a tale of mystery and adventure, so grab an ale and rest ye self from your journey across the cursed seas.
Oh, 4.
Oh, yeah, 4. That's right. Hey, everybody, welcome. This is the Loreseekers Podcast for New World. This is episode 13, and look at the notes. 13, and we are your hosts. I am Jibs, and I'm joined by Solis.
Hello, fam.
He's back in action. Da, da, da. Good to have you back, buddy.
I appreciate that.
And Mr. Bald and Beautiful's back. Cash.
What it do?
Oh, no. That's like the Dollar Tree version. I need the full on. Give me the gourmet version here, and my good buddy.
I should do him. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. And Northern Indiana champ.
Hi guys, how are you? My name's Cash.
Nailed it.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Back up, sunshine. What it do, baby? What it do? I knew that was coming. If I stole that thunder, you should have seen your face. Oh man, if I could have reached you. Oh, well done. What's up, fellas?
Man, gentlemen,
That was nice.
my face hurts from that war last night.
My back hurts. Legs
My
are
back
broken.
hurts. I'm in rehab for the next 6 months.
I think I broke my staff.
I think I broke everything.
Yeah.
And my inventory.
I was gonna say, did you check your inventory? That shit's probably really broken.
Oh no, I got rid of everything because I knew if I came back after a war, it'd be GG. It'd be done.
gone.
It'd be done.
I got smart. I learned it the last time we did a blind run of the depths.
No, yeah.
Or the first time we did the blind run to the depths, that was like so this is a thing. Okay, so let's empty the inventory wherever it needs to go so that doesn't happen, because I knew there would be a lot of death last night.
Oh yeah.
So many deaths.
Death was in full swing last night. So, for those who don't know, we had our first war last night. Not our first, but collectively for the company, it was the first. And I think they used me as a weapon. Remember, like Loki and Hulk and Avengers? I feel like they saw I felt like I was surrounded by killers. And I walked in Dollar Tree cosplay.
I mean, if I may, we were going against the top people on our server, and they are very good.
Oh yeah,
and it was a great experience. We did go in with a mixture of us, 4 big guys, and OTV. They were gracious enough to come with us to try to help us, to train us on what we needed to do. We spent several hours. Shout out to Jeffy and Edge. They did a hell of a job last night. We set up a Discord server. We did all the things we needed to do. It was a good learning experience. We took all the members of the council, even though one of us is the only one that's 60 in this room, is the one that's got the better what it do. And I guess it's just one of those things where, we went in for the learning experience. We've got a lot more knowledge than we had before. We've made a lot of connections. We are a normal name on the server now because they finally woke up the Silent Giant. It's all about getting levels and then getting that gear. And then once we're there, it's gonna be nasty, because I'll tell you, from where you were at to where I was, I'm in 550, 560-ish item level, and I was putting out some skunk. So once you get to that point, you'll be doing all right.
Oh yeah.
I'll say this. So earlier today, I sent out the announcement that went onto our Discord community, but I'll say it here. What was really awesome and like humbling is that we took over Brightwood, we flipped it in 4 hours. We had so much influence and participated so well in those PvP faction quests that we went from 11% to 100% flipping in about 4 hours.
Yeah, man.
That's a testimony, right?
Yeah.
War's next.
Oh yeah, that was fun. It was good to. I was a lower level, like I wasn't max, and I was in there for the sole purpose of being able to talk about it on the show, start to formulate some things about how I need to do what I need to do for the build and all that, and it was good. It was a good experience. Like I walked away. It's. I mean, that's the nature of PvP. You're gonna win some. You're gonna lose some. Either way, I love the competitiveness of it. I love just, I was talking with Cash earlier, and to me, PvP is the most purest form of combat in an MMO because it's toe to toe. It's not, you know, you don't have, it's you versus one other person. It's not boss mechanics. It's your class versus their class, the gear they've chosen, the gear you've chosen, and you go to work. And I had a lot of fun.
Or your class versus 6 of their classes, and that doesn't work so well as a backline healer. I'll throw that out there real quick. I think we ended up accomplishing some things yesterday that we set out to do, and I think that we can't really overshadow that. So one of the things that we wanted to accomplish was learning, and that's why all 4 of us ended up going in there, because it's definitely, we wanted to cover it on the show, but we absolutely learned a ton. And leading a company, you have to kind of know what you're doing, even if you're not the one doing it. And I think we have some great PvP leaders that were helping us out, and they did a fantastic job getting everything set up. Above and beyond learning what we learned, we were able to make some pretty cool contacts on all sides of the fence. And it was, I think, one of my favorite things to see is that I have always had, you know, I'm a PvE player learning PvP, and I'm really enjoying it, even though, you know, I got stomped and used last night quite a bit. I learned, and I also learned a couple things. I learned I love the PvP aspect, so I want to dive into it. And I learned that PvPers are not a whole bunch of toxic people. Like, I've always, just admittedly, always have that thing in my head that PvP players can be very toxic. They can be, but there was a lot of camaraderie in between the winning side and the losing side. Afterwards, there was a lot of, hey, good job, good game. It just, you know, a little like friendly banter back and forth. And man, that really impressed me. That really did make me happy for where our server's headed.
I think a big thing too is you got to remember it's PvP. You're fighting against other people. Yeah. Talking shit is part of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to know you're going up against people. They're going to talk smack. There was at one point where the one guy was yelling, "Get out here, purple." And every time he did, I went straight to him and we would duel off. And it got to a point where me and him circled around the base and just the 2 of us fought for like 5 minutes. We finally realized nothing was going to happen because he couldn't kill me. I couldn't kill him. We kind of gave the nod and went our opposite directions. So, but I didn't get mad because you're not supposed to.
No,
it's okay. You know, I understand, you know, some people play sports, some people don't. Some people were involved in activities with other people, and it's just kind of a formula of it. Yeah, it sucks sometimes we're in the losing end, but it's cool when you get to talk back. And I think what was nice about it too is I actually got into a message back and forth with the leader of the faction that are the dominant faction on our server and the stronger players. Mm-hmm. And we talked for probably 10 minutes. And he goes, "I'll tell you one thing." He goes, "We have seen people not be able to take points and just stand in the base until it was over." He goes, "You guys kept coming out and fighting." He goes, "You wouldn't stop." He goes, "And every time you came out the gate, you came looking for me." And I was like, well, I mean, it is what it is, right? Yeah. But I love the fact that we might not have won, but we gained respect.
Oh, absolutely.
We went in, we flipped it, we went in, we fought, we didn't bitch, we didn't moan, nobody complained, nobody was in, you know, the open chat. Everybody was very respectful, at least on our side of it. There was a couple of, but you're gonna have that. But it was a really good experience, and nobody got mad, nobody got upset in the group. But we had a good time. It was a good experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're gonna die, you want to die in style, right? So you might as well go out swinging.
That's right.
Just swing out everything, button smash what you got. But you know, if you out there like know anything about me, I've never PvP'd. That's just not what I've done. Didn't do an Elder Scrolls. Didn't do it in any other game, World of Warcraft. That's not what I do. But I'll be honest with y'all. This opened my eyes to a lot of the potential, a lot of like the fun that could be PvP. All right, I'll respectfully humble myself and probably try PvP a little bit more often because I did it yesterday. So it was a lot of fun in that regard.
It absolutely opens up I mean, okay, this is going to be super nerdy. Do you know how much like RP you could throw into the whole thing? And okay, that's all I'll say about RP, but you have, with the way that PvP is set up, you have so much potential for subterfuge, betrayal, like all these things that could happen because, and this was actually a point with one of our members last night that we got to talking about how you can take people from other factions to kind of mercenary for you and help you out. Like if green is pissing off a lot of people, it could end up being purple and yellow going against green in a war. And although I understand how that could be kind of weird, like, well, that doesn't make much sense why one faction could help out another faction, but that is war.
Yeah.
And it really does open you up for a lot of possibilities and a lot of drama to take place. And that, folks, is the end game.
Right.
Yes, it is.
I love that.
Another thing I want to shout out AGS. No lag.
Oh,
No
dude.
lag. No exploits. I didn't see anybody exploiting. I didn't see any lag. We legitimately got beat by a better team. There was no exploiting. There was nothing. They just fought us straight up, and we did the thing. And so there was no lag, like zero. I had no trouble. There was at one point where I'm pretty sure there was 40 people standing in the middle of that circle, and there was no lag. I could see what I was doing. I wasn't just aimlessly swinging, hoping I hit something. It was really good.
I also don't have the best rig in the world, but I was seeing everything go off. All the AoEs, the cannons from the siege equipment, just everything was happening on my face. But but everything was beautifully done. Again, like you said, no lag. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
I will say this. It was very difficult to tell what was good poopy on the ground and
Yeah,
what was bad poopy on the ground.
That needs to be
fair.
fixed.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will be, but yeah, that
working on it.
was that was interesting. It was smooth as butter for me, and I was super impressed at how, like, I haven't experienced it before, but I've heard all the things, we've covered all the things, and it was really smooth for me.
Yeah. It was a good time. Definitely a good learning experience. And I think my favorite part about all of it, I know Cash already kind of talked about it. Actually, pretty much all of us have. Just getting to know more of the server. I'm active in world chat now. I'm active in faction chat. I'm, in of course company chat, but area chat. And like people, I can't tell you how many people, did you guys just join the server? No, we've been here. I don't remember who it was. It was from another company, and they're like, I literally spent all day thinking, okay, Loreseekers, I don't know you guys from anywhere. You've been here the whole time? It's cool. It's cool.
Day one.
And it was fun just to meet people and network and just have a good time. I really enjoyed that and look forward to more of it. But anyway, well, gentlemen, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I thought we were going. Sorry.
I was gonna say I didn't know, but we've been talking for like a half hour. I've been ready that whole time.
Are you ready to get to the notes now?
Get ready to rumble.
Is everybody recording?
We're recording. Everyone's recording.
Well, everyone, welcome again. This is, if you were here last week on the show, we talked about New World's economy. We talked server transfers, all kinds of fun little ditties. But this week on the show, we're talking World Merges, New World Patch 1.0.5, update on current issues. We're breaking down the lore on the Ancients of Part 2 of our lore lesson, and the big one of the day. This just released recently. In fact, we just got it into the end of the show setup today, announcing the public test realm and the Void Gauntlet. So,
Yay!
yeah,
Bring on the weapons.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah, for sure. So, anyway, gentlemen, we did get something in the mail. I don't know if any of you saw this, but I was going to read this live on the air because I thought you'd appreciate it. Before I read this, anybody, again, you can always email us, loreseekerscast@gmail.com, or call us, 765-382-6961. This is from Van Kraken. Are you here? Kraken?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, hey.
It's in here.
I saw.
Van sent us an email. It says, hello. I just wanted to take a minute to tell the cast how much I am enjoying the podcast. I recently came across your show as I found myself at a similar crossroads, having been a dedicated player of one main franchise of games from a very different genre for the past 6 years and deciding to give New World a try for a change of pace. Though I've been gaming a long time, and am not afraid to admit that the first adventure game and RPG, respectively, that I played was Zork and the original Ultima on C64. I never made it beyond Skyrim TSO, and this is the first true MMO that I've played. What I love about the podcast is that your crew appreciates the immersion, story, and community layers of a game as its foundation, not just the flashiness of the combat or the relentless focus on what in-game content will be at level 60+. It seems to me that the basic task, personal growth, and exploration focus of New World caters to more patient gamers like myself who see the daily grind of the game as more art imitating life rather than painful delay of gratification. Your crew shares experience in other MMOs and deep dives in lore are helping me to enjoy the game more as I get my few hours in each day after completing my real-life daily leveling. And as the initial bugs get worked out, I think there are a lot of fun adventures and good times to be had on the horizon. Keep up the great work, and I'll be looking forward to catching your live streams and podcasts as a companion on my own journey onward.
It's a great email.
Yeah. Thank you, Van. If you're looking for a community, don't hesitate.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Seriously, you can come join the community. Everyone at loreseekerscast.com. Anyone can come join the community. But there's only a certain number of you that can join the company.
Well, there's more. We have a second company.
Oh, yeah. Go
that
ahead.
we're developing. And it's going to be ran by our lovely Bard, Conniff. And we're in the process of getting the details out, but we are going to do a second company. We have enough people on our, that are requesting it. We finally got to a point where we found the perfect fit for the perfect place and the perfect approach. So we're going to give her a shot. And if you mess it up, we're just going to kick you all and just leave. I'm kidding. But real talk.
The competition for names has already started, and the funniest one so far is More Seekers.
I love that name.
I love that one.
I love that name, dude.
It's funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, it's a good one. All right, gentlemen. So, New World. Now, this one's kind of old news. The next two, really. This was something that came out late in the previous week that we couldn't cover on the show. But patch 1.0.5. This patch handled a ton of bugs. A lot of things that was happening around the community. And on top of that, the devs went further in the dev blog section of the forums, which is excellent, and they posted an update on current issues, which was a huge list of things that they're aware of and things that they're addressing. Guys, when I saw this patch come out and this article come out, to me, this was a huge leap forward on optics, a huge leap forward on gameplay, and a huge leap forward for the community.
Transparency.
Yeah.
Putting your problems out in front
huge.
of putting your problems out in front of the world for them to see it.
Yeah.
And acknowledging it, right? I mean, that's the big part. You're not trying to hide it. You're meeting it head on. And it's I've seen it, right? I don't see coin sellers anymore. And they fixed it. They've done a lot of fixes. So I know people say, all you guys do is try to talk. Yes, we do try to talk positive because we love the game. And, they are working actively to try to fix the exploits. We were leery of war because of the exploits, and we trusted them. They said, we fixed it. We went in. They fixed it. I ain't mad. Yeah. Kinda. I got my ass whooped.
I loved the Stratix that was put out about the economy.
Yes.
That to me was AGS having their finger on the pulse of what's going on. All the amount of gold that was going in every day, the amount of gold that was going out every day. Yeah. And those Stratix really do help them to balance things out. And I was super impressed by all that. I dug it.
Oh yeah.
It makes my Amazon heart really happy when I saw that graphic. I was like, that is so that's so Amazon. But yeah, the coinage in and out, the graphics, the line graph, everything they had. But just to add a little bit to what was earlier said, I have a hard time thinking AGS doesn't already know what's going on. Right. I'm pretty sure you're not going to tell them something they aren't already tracking. And it's really awesome for them to say, look, we got it. Here's the laundry list. You don't have to repeat it. We'll repeat it for you, and we're on it. So that was just really cool to watch.
Do they sell patience anymore? Because that's something that people could go buy.
Yeah.
Holy hell, man. I go to the forums because I want to be in on the news and everything like that and kind of follow things. But you got to dig for a gem. I mean, the forums are almost like a Reddit post. I mean, it is ridiculous. And it's just, again, Jesus, man. Are you that angry?
Hey, they did give us. They did give us a free emote. Remember the emote where they're tapping the time? You know.
Yeah.
Tapping
They gave us that. They gave us that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually I genuinely I stopped. I remember last episode I said I stopped going there. Well, that didn't last. I just try to avoid the obvious ones. Like, this game's dying. Okay. This game has no content. Okay.
There's always one. Yeah. Or two. Or 10.
I just, okay, I'm just gonna go file bug reports and read the dev blogs. But anyway, I think that, I don't mean for us just to gloss over this, but I think transparency right now is crucial, for New World, and seeing what they posted and seeing the steps forward, because I felt awful. They were in a spot where they're putting out these patches, and it's like they take one step forward, a step and a half back. It's just like it was hard to get going. And that I really do believe patch 1.0.5 was the start of that. Really good steps forward. The transparency is excellent. The community wants that right now. They need that right now. And I know AGS is aware of that. And they're crushing that. And I love that. So props to them. That was absolutely awesome.
There is one thing that we mentioned earlier, and I just wanted to read a snippet of this because in that dev blog update on current issues, they mentioned war lag. So I want to hit this real quick. War is a critical feature of New World. This is AGS. War is a critical feature of New World. So many other systems in the game benefit from claiming and holding territories. War also creates fun and dramatic gameplay moments that are exciting for players and exciting for our team to watch. I watched most of them from my back last night. Anyway, we have been tracking all the feedback and issues players have been bringing to our attention, but the elephant in the room is the exploits that have been plaguing this feature. In particular, the now common practice of spamming the Ice Gauntlet, Fire Staff, and Life Staff in order to create latency problems while capturing control points. We've made some initial changes here that were achievable in short development cycles and are working on further updates with higher impact that need longer testing to preserve balance. As we stated at the start, War is a focal point of New World, and your feedback on its design and gameplay is important to us. We will continue to explore War's design in an upcoming dev blog. I think it's pretty clear that there are already some significant changes being made to War.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just going to keep, we all hope and we all want, it's just going to keep getting better. Nowhere to go but up, right? I look forward to seeing where the wars are at, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, so I dig all that.
Yeah, it's going to be a constant balance. That is something that's going to be very, very hard to keep balanced all the time, especially as new weapons come out, as players continue to level, new gear, all that stuff is going to, it's going to create a challenge to keep the PvP portion of the game and PvE portion of the game really well balanced. But just remember, it's a constant struggle. There's always going to be tweaks to everything.
That goes for any MMO though. It's always, PvE and PvP. You do one thing in PvE and then it empowers it for PvP. So, but
I'm putting the cart out in front of the horse on this one, but I'm curious what New World's plan is when they do release a DLC. How does that reset look for those that are, top gear, level 60 maxed out, 570, 580, whatever it is now? For those that are maxed out, how are they going to reset the playing field when that new DLC comes out? I think every MMO does it differently. I'm curious if New World's scratched the tip of that iceberg yet.
I bet they're going to use the new zones to pull the heavy hitters to the new zones, because that's where the heavy stuff is. And that'll give the smaller communities or the less geared, the casual communities, an ability to take a land down in the south so they can control an area. Personally, that's what I think they would probably be doing, but who knows? It's a good speculation though, and I'm sure they've got it under control. But I'm interested to see that too. I actually talked about that today with a couple of the community members and was wondering what they were going to do.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I have no idea what they're going to do. I don't even have the first inkling. But anyway, so yeah, good things on the horizon. Keep pushing forward. Keep coming out with those good patches. Probably the second biggest piece of news that we're covering today, world merges. Our quote on the horizon is coming to us from the New World forums, gentlemen. New World dev K said, quote, "Hey there," answering a forum post. "World merges are on the horizon, but require additional scale testing before we before we are confident enough to use the tech." It's on a different monitor. It looked like confront. All right, we are confident enough to use the tech on the live worlds. As you can imagine, given the first few rocky weeks, we are using an overabundance of caution here. Keep an eye out on the official news area for an update from our community managers on this in the near future, end quote.
So we've merged your world into a new world, but we're really sorry that your arms aren't on your character anymore. They're still over on the other world. We'll fix it soon. Whoops.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
World server merges. I don't think it's any secret it needs to happen.
Yep.
Our server, speaking from our server, absolutely needs it. Absolutely needs it.
Yeah, and not letting it go 6 months before you do it. Right. Go ahead and do it early. We opened up all these servers for all the people to come in. The people that don't like the game or have left for now are gone. And so now it's time to get the player base together, clump them, and kind of make it a thing, right? And I'm glad they're doing it at this point. We are only in the second month. And they're like, okay, we're going to shut down those servers so we don't have dead servers. Remember World of Warcraft. I firmly believe dead servers, we don't want to do that. We don't want to make people go to other servers because they're tied to their server name. So let's make this LFR, LFG. No, done. Shut the servers down.
I don't think we're really tied to.
Bless
You could you could go ahead and merge us with another one, but folks, one of the things that I was thinking about too is this is something that can scare a lot of people away at the beginning of an MMO when they notice, just like what Jibs was saying, they notice that the numbers, like maybe your server was a high pop server, now it's a medium pop server, maybe your medium pop server is now a low pop server. That naturally happens with any MMO. People get back to life. People realize they don't have enough time to play an MMO. People don't like the game. People cycle out to play other stuff. That is a normal cycle for an MMO. The ebb and flow. You'll start off with a very high number of players because a lot of people want to try, the next best new shiny thing that's out there, and then that number over time will dwindle down, and then that becomes your player base. That becomes the numbers of players that are going to be logging in every night. So that's a natural occurrence, happens with every single MMO. And I think there's going to be plenty of people to play this MMO once these server mergers happen.
Oh yeah. Like it's the process. Sorry, Sully, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's interesting, right? The cycle is grow, optimize, reform. And it's amazing to think that we're a month and a half into this and we're already optimizing, right? That's what we're doing. Right. We're optimizing the servers. I feel like they're moving fast. I also feel like they took it across the chin. They got punched real hard, right? They learned their lessons. And that quote from Kay says exactly that, right? It says, hey, you know what happened last time we just did something willy-nilly. Let's take our time with the server merge. I think that's a really smart approach. But for them to already be optimizing on the 5th or 6th week of the game's existence, I think we're in a good place, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And they're sticking to the server count, right? So they're like, okay, here's where we're at. We're not making a server bigger, but we're going to take these other servers, is 600, there you go. And, and I appreciate that. I agree with you. It's a good move, and it's time. Do it now. Get it early. Good call. And, people are going to be mad. What about my territory? What about this? Get it back. I mean, you're not going to hold it forever. Just let them fix the game to where we can play this, because we all know we're hoping in 6 months this game's going to run like on rails, right? Like they're going to get all the bugs fixed, get all the exploits fixed. If they can get their gear balanced to where it works in PvE, PvP. Also, by the way, there are differences in the attacks. Read the tooltips. Some things are for PvP, some things are for PvE. I'm serious. You should look it up. But because I had a lot of questions, I'm like, well, you got to look at the content. But anyway, I'm going to get sidebarred on, and I'm going to start giving out PvP builds and stuff, and we don't want to do that. But I really like the fact that they are grabbing the bull by the horn, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're in the process, and that's the only part about anything in this regard that it's difficult. It's difficult when you're in the situation currently. Where we're going, it's going to be great. Population's going to be great because we've seen it. We've played the games that have that. And so right now we're in the process, and it's a little less fun than what it will be. And so I do look forward to seeing where it will be. But, and yeah, to going back to your point, Champ, like nobody should ever hold a territory, like for months on end. You should want that fight. You should want the things happening, things interchanging, because then it makes everything you do more important. It makes it more important when you take care of invasions. It makes you more important when you're doing those faction quests to keep that bar down. It's if none of that's happening, then are you really experiencing the game? It's
right.
just like I don't know. That's just
You're not playing it to its full potential and getting every bit of enjoyment out of each system that's been built into the game.
yeah.
And that's what excites me as a, in the past as a mostly PvE player. I love the PvE in New World. Absolutely. But now I've added this third dimension, this additional content that I can play. So for me, it's expanded my longevity in the game. When you have all of these different little avenues, all these little branches of what the game is capable of, if you can go down and play those, and the best part is you get to play them with friends. Like we'll have certain nights in our own company where we're working on PvP stuff, certain nights that we're working on PvE stuff. If we ever own a territory, it'll be, working on protecting our stuff. And I love that aspect of being able to enjoy every single thing available in the game.
You know what else I loved? Going back to our PvP match last night in our war, nobody was screaming. Nobody was angry.
Nope.
Nobody was yelling. Because I've been in some groups. I remember some of the, we'll leave the game names out so we don't, put anybody on blast, but I've been in some groups where they start screaming. Yeah. And you're like, hey, bro, I don't mean any harm, but people don't scream at me at work. You ain't going to scream at me on a game. So I think I like the fact that we have such a diverse group of people in our community. We have the heavy, hardcore people. You got your Jeffies and your Edges and those guys that they're grinding at it, right? Yeah. Then you got the mediums. I consider myself a medium. You know what I'm saying? I do work.
No.
You ever heard of being humble? But anyway, then we have the people that just want to gather stuff. And I love the fact that game's the way it is, and I love the fact that our community and what we play in, you'll never get screamed at because we lost a war. You'll never get screamed at because we lost a point. And I think that's important. And I'm glad that we built that type of community, because I'll be completely honest with you. I would rather lose every war than have one person in the group that just gets angry and starts screaming at people when they don't do what they think they should do. You know what I mean?
That's when people
leave.
I
really appreciate the group of people we have.
That's right.
Agreed.
Yeah. And on top of that, you're talking about, having people, and I'm sure this is probably resonating in all the companies out there that have a bunch of people. You have people that really enjoy the PvE side, the gathering, the crafting side. But what I watched happen when we went to war, and at the time period that built up to war, is that everybody got together and they used their high level crafting. They used their experience with running missions and gathering and all that stuff. Everybody came together for the common purpose, whether you like PvE or PvP. Everybody came together as a company to get us there and to get us through it. And that was a really neat, that's a very ingenious way of putting this game together. And we've talked about, in the earlier shows that we did, we talked about how we were really intrigued by this marriage of PvE and PvP. And it's not only just the concepts and the systems of the game, but they've built it to where your players, your friends who have whatever interest they have in the game can all do things to benefit the company as a whole. Right. And I think that is just super freaking cool.
I
Yeah,
like
I'm
the
not-
crafted. Sorry, go ahead, Solus.
I'm sorry. I was going to say I'm not going to forget standing on the steps of the Brightwood, right? And people giving out, our community giving out like the 40 con food, right? So we talked about me breaking my feet into PvP. We had friends join us who have never really PvP'd before, and they're on the front lines with us. They're like, I don't know what we're doing, but let's just go click around. But it was cool to see passing out food. Hey, who needs 40 con food?
Yeah.
You know, you're not level 60 or some 57 stuff, right? It was just really neat to see it all come together.
Yeah.
And they did it to everybody.
Yep.
So
Everybody.
even the 4 big guys, even the OOTVs, and then the people that were in the random set gear, especially the Queen of England. But I mean, it was really cool. But one thing I will say that's nice is crafted gear is also a thing in this game. There is some heavy hitting crafted gear sets out there. So if you're a crafter, you really can support your warriors on the battlefield. So I mean, it's just every gear score point counts, and it's really nice that they allow, because think about WoW. Crafted gear is the base level crap that you make while you're leveling up your blacksmithing, but you ain't going to use it because it's lower level than the green items you're picking up off the mobs you kill in the first area.
Right.
This game,
Right.
the high end gear is at the high end level.
Yeah.
Now it might not be at the legendary level, but it's still at that high end level, so it gives it a reason, a purpose, right? To get that perfect piece of gear, you're going to go through tons of mats. I love that. I love the fact that they brought that all together and they made the crafted gear count.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like they were thinking about it.
Crafted gear right now, isn't it the highest that you can get in the game, gear score wise?
No, there's gear you can get out of Shattered Mountain and some of those elite zones that I believe I might be speaking out of church. I think there's higher gear that can be picked up, but I'm pretty sure that gear is pretty high level in comparison. 565, I think, is what I was seeing people talk about as a really good set of gear. And then I think we go up to 591.
Okay.
And then there's 600 gear that you get that is the legendary gear that people make, and that's like 25,000 gold. So don't even look at it.
My house.
Gotcha. My house. My house. But anyway, so yeah, I look forward to seeing what they do with server merges. I look forward to seeing when it's all said and done, because I know it's going to be awesome. We know it's going to be great. Everything populated, running. It's going to be good stuff. So anyway, guys, the big topic coming out of this past week, announcing the public test realm. Yeah.
Yay!
Yay! I'm excited. We were talking about, was the last episode or the episode before? It was last episode.
Last episode.
Oh man, I'm so stoked that they're doing this. We need this. The game needs this. This is good. This is awesome.
Absolutely. They need to get a bunch of us knuckleheads in there to break it.
Absolutely.
We just need to break the game, right?
Find
And
it,
break
break
it
it,
there.
fix it.
That's right. Stabilize what everybody else plays, and then get a bunch of idiots in there to just break the crap out of it. And that's how you have smooth growth, right?
Yeah.
So brilliant move. It's almost as if they were listening last week. I'm just saying, but the timing, it was perfect. Right as they're about to bring on new content like the Void Gauntlet, like the new PvE enemy that we'll probably be talking about here a little bit.
Yeah, there was a lot of calls for a PTR amongst the community, and I'm glad to see that they're doing it. It's exciting. I look forward to. I've never been a PTR guy. I said this last week. I've never been a PTR kind of guy, ever. But I am with this game. I want to see what kind of feedback can we provide on something. How can we help shape the game to make it even better. And just taking that proactive approach, I think it's going to be worth it for us in the long run. There was a quote here. It says, quote, "Greetings, adventurers. Our goal is to provide you with the best possible experience in Aeternum. That means getting feedback and testing early and often, especially with our players that have provided phenomenal feedback and helped us track down a plethora of issues since launch. We have many new and exciting changes planned for the future of New World, and as part of that preparation, that's when they talk about introducing the PTR. Now, here's some quick tidbits. This is kind of a rapid fire, so stick with us, folks, all right? So, this is going to be limited, or have a limited availability, all right? It's going to give you an early look at upcoming features. These preview builds are snapshots of upcoming major updates. and are not final versions. All right, so you will probably encounter bugs, crashes, missing text, or other issues. Between AGS's internal efforts, testing efforts, and our feedback, AGS is hoping to catch and resolve all serious issues before they reach the live servers, which is what we want. That's good.
Right.
Hundreds of changes have been made, and the full release notes will be shared on release day, which would be today, I think, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe it's live.
So there should be some notes somewhere, if I'm reading that correctly. This part's pretty interesting. To help with the feedback process, all newly created characters on these worlds will have the opportunity to instantly level to select level ranges, outfitted with appropriate gear and items. So that's cool. Kind of pick where you want to dive in at. Now, this is real quick to everyone how to get involved. So if you already own the game, check your Steam library. Look for the New World Public Test Realm. That's the application you put in there. You download the standalone application, which was about 30... It was
8 gigs.
38? Okay, yeah. It was in 38 gigs. All right. Let's see. PTR servers are now open, and servers are limited. I know as of right before the show, it was around 1,300 in queue waiting. Honestly, I thought it'd be more than that. I really thought it'd be higher.
Yeah, I love it that there's a queue. There's
Right.
people that want to get in there and they want to break it so
Yeah.
they can fix what needs to be fixed before it goes live.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely. Okay, real quick, just kind of wraps up the nitty-gritty details on this. So when the test period is complete and main New World game is updated with the preview content, all worlds will shut down and be wiped clean. You will still see the New World PTR application in your Steam library, but there will not be active servers until the next time AGS announces a test. So yeah, I know we talked about this last week, but it's good to see this coming to the game.
Yeah. Have y'all ever participated in a PTS or PTR? I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I never have. I kind of wanted to back in Elder Scrolls. I kind of wanted to, never got into it. What are your thoughts?
It's kind of good because I don't know what our PTR for this is, but I'm assuming they'll put you at max gear and give you some decent gear so you can try stuff out. But what I always do is try to break things. Like I would go in and just completely try to break things, try to jump through stuff you're not supposed to, try to switch weapons a certain way, try to set certain things up just to see if I can break it. And now we know, check the life staff. And if you can bounce up and down it and you're getting more heals, then that exploit's back. So we know there's a basis of exploits. I'm having one right now in game where when I'm attacking with the Great Axe or the Warhammer, my guy will do that foot thing where he's just got one foot down, one foot kicked up, and he just kind of slides around. The animations of like the stun will go off, but he doesn't move. And so I'm hoping they get that fixed in the next patch because that is something, it's annoying, but it's not that big of a deal, right? But in the PTRs, what I've been in, mostly were World of Warcraft PTRs, what I did. And you would just go in, grab the gear, and try to see if you could find the gear set that's broken that gives you way more of this or way less of that. Like the resilience gear was busted on our, in New World. They figured that out and fixed it. And you just go in and you grab a bunch of stuff. You're not in there to really play the game. You're in there to play with everything and see if you can break it.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of where it's at. And then give good feedback. That's a very important part of it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to get in there and start trying these out because with a fresh game and with the amount of weapons that are most likely going to get added to this game, people not just content creators, it might be especially content creators, but people are going to get out there and want to see how those new items play.
Yeah.
So they can they can make videos on it. They can start prepping their builds and see if that's the direction that they want to go. And, when Jibs and I were doing Loreseekers for Elder Scrolls Online, a lot of the new stuff that was coming to PTS was like the new story. And we never wanted to get into that because we always wanted it to be very, very fresh for us. So Jibs and I didn't. We did not dive in for as invested as we were in Elder Scrolls Online. We never downloaded the PTS and got in there and started messing with it. But a lot of the content creators did, and particularly the ones who were making builds. So it's really neat to see those new build videos come out because people have played with those new items and they've played with the changes that they make when as they were balancing combat and such with the different weapons. So I'm really looking forward to it. actually, I was getting ready to download it before the show, and then I realized I probably shouldn't do that 15 minutes before we started our stream. But yeah, this one I am absolutely going to try out just so that I can get a taste of all the different weapons and maybe see some of the new things that we're getting ready to talk about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've considered looking at it from a governor perspective. It might change the face of war, how you strategize going to war, and like you said, how people are going to use different weapon systems and different tactics. Like that could change the face of territory control.
Right.
That's a good point.
And with the fixes, now the meta's changed. Before it was stack everybody on the middle and do as much AoE as you could, because if it's broke that way, you're going to use it to win. I mean, you can't really fault the people who use the exploits to win the wars because they had to win the wars. So you kind of get your hands tied. And we waited because we didn't want to do that, right? In this situation, you know what the exploits are, and they fixed them so quickly. I know I keep bringing it up, but it's awesome that they fixed it, because now when you go into a PvP match, you're not doing that. And the meta changed from stacking. We had a lot of range that we went up against last night. There was fewer melee and a ton of ranged. And our entire plan, we kind of discussed it, but we just didn't think it was going to happen. So seeing the new metas coming in, or the new things that people are trying, how they defended, how we can how we can break that up and get them stopped. It was really cool to see, but I definitely know the meta changed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was cool to see. It's more than just hammers and axes only, like people branching out, people doing ranged. I was doing ranged. It was fun. It was fun to, last time I was in a war, I was running bow and hatchet. And this time I was running the fire staff and ice gauntlet. It was a fun, different style of gameplay for ranged. And so it was a good time. Void Gauntlet. Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. So for those of you who don't know, quote, the Void Gauntlet has manifested in Aeternum. Manipulate the powers of the Void to support your allies and debilitate your enemies with this magical DPS/support hybrid. It's the first weapon to scale on both intelligence and focus, making it a great pairing with a life staff and other magic weapons. Yeah.
We shall see where this lies. I'm still seeing a lot of Ice Gauntlet in PvP, and although we had our first war experience the other day, I stepped in a lot of ice, so I'm dying to see what these gauntlets can do, and I was really intrigued reading a lot of the stuff, reading the skills for the Void Gauntlets today, because they have some debuff and some healing in them. So it could make the ultimate healing set. I just want to see how it performs in PvP.
Is this the first melee magical weapon? I'm trying to think. Ice Gauntlet's ranged. Life and Fire Staff are ranged. This would make it a melee.
Yep.
Fire Staff can kind of be a melee in your face.
With
they do have some attack, but
That's right.
what I like about this is the trees are completely different. The Annihilation Tree focuses on maximizing damage at close range and revolves around Void Blade, which is melee, a summoned blade of corrosive void energy. On the flip side, you have Decay. The Decay tree offers ranged healing and debuffs and revolves around Orb of Decay, a dual phase projectile that can debuff enemies and heal allies. With its arsenal of buffs and debuffs, the Void Gauntlet is a perfect group combat and can significantly boost or bolster your allies at the expense of your enemies. The ability to throw it in, it's the same thing with a heal for the life staff. You throw it in, if you hit a buddy, heals him. He's standing at splash, right? You're hitting with an enemy, you're still healing your buddies around it. So this is giving that same kind of setup. I think it'll flow pretty good. I really want to see that and the life staff together. I really do. And then I want to see if I can run the Annihilation Tree with like a Great Axe or a Warhammer.
Yeah.
Right? And just kind of do some weirdness with it.
Yeah.
It's probably a good off-tank weapon too, right? If you want the debuff, or I'm trying to think of how else you'd use it from a utility perspective.
Self heals.
Self heals, yeah.
Yep.
Did
It's like a paladin build.
anyone play Halo here?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, all
thinking
of
the
this.
same thing.
God, do
Anyone
you
else
even
see
game?
The sword?
Yeah. Does anyone else see the
you,
energy
bro?
sword? That's exactly
yeah.
what I see. every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Yes, that game. I remember playing first Halo. I had to lie to my best friend's grandpa to tell him what kind of game it was, just so he'd buy it because it was mature and we weren't old enough yet.
Yeah,
I love hearing people scream when you catch them in the back.
Oh yeah.
Hacker!
Yeah.
Hacker!
I'm not hacking. I got a
It's
sword,
got a
homie.
lock switch.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it enhances the life staff
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be, and I have this new love for, I love my life staff. Like that's never going anywhere. That will always be my thing. But I've really started to enjoy melee a lot. Whereas
Yeah?
before I was using the ice gauntlet and the life staff, and it's more of pretty much all ranged, trying to keep stuff away from you. But man, switching to that Warhammer and then recently switching to Sword and Board, oh my gosh. So much fun being right up in stuff's face. And I'm looking forward to seeing how, because this is like, it's got daggers, even though they're magical daggers. That's about the closest thing that we have right now to roguish gameplay. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what it looks like and how it feels.
You know what's great? You only need one character to do it.
Yeah.
You just have to level the weapon up. I'm just saying, dude, you can literally set up weapon sets and armor sets, and you can go to your hold, grab your stuff out, and play a completely different character. So if you get bored, change to dexterity. They lowered the price of respecking your attributes, and they also lowered the price to respec the weapons. Now that they've done that, go and respec dex, run a bow, run a spear, run the musket, give magic a try. They have made it to where it's not as expensive. If you do your first set of syndicate quests, you get enough gold to do what you want to do for that type of thing. So just, if you're getting bored with what you're doing, switch it up. That's why they got all these different weapon systems, and you only need one character. It sticks with you for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. To me, when I see the Void Gauntlet, I get these flashbacks of Shadow Priest from Warcraft. And I gotta say, like, my favorite game style of old was a utility player. It wasn't necessarily like I was the best damage, I wasn't the best healer, I wasn't a tank, it was just support with these hybrid kind of skills. And so I'm really intrigued to see what Decay brings to the table. Especially, as some kind of like off healer or something, so for me, I'm pretty, I'm pretty stoked about it. But anywho, gentlemen, we got new missions and mobs. Yeah.
I noticed that some of the stuff is coming out, and this is going to enhance a lot of the newer player experience. Some of the areas that they're putting this stuff. I think that's pretty cool. Part of it is like, what do we have here? The Withered Swarmmancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The Beetle. I imagine it's probably going to be the size of a freaking alligator. Yeah. And wait, there's more. The Lost Shaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just imagine some big ass like wandering woodsman.
You had to bring up alligator.
The pirate alligator.
What's that even mean?
I looked at that one sideways and I went, ruh-roh. The pirate alligator.
It's a one-eyed alligator.
He's got a pirate hat on and he's going to talk shit to you the whole time.
Have you seen more teeth? Yeah, I know. That's going to be a fun one.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Ancient Guardian Pyromancer.
Hold on. All I can think right now is like the crocodile and Hook. My kids are watching. Is that really what we're fighting?
Oh, that's good.
I know. Sorry, and I made him British too, so evidently the pirate alligator's British. Then there's the Ancient Guardian Pyromancer, which immediately piqued my interest because, of course, we love all things ancients and guardians. So that'll be a fun one too. And Enhanced Corrupted Laborers. Oh, sorry.
What?
How do you
How do you
enhance them?
Aren't they already enhanced? They're already enhanced because they're corrupted.
Yeah, that one was like, what the hell's that? That's the new guy at AGS. They're like, hey, I want you to handle the pirate alligator. You're going to handle the new beetles. So that's going to be a real big thing. And new guy, why don't you enhance the corrupted laborers a little bit?
It's
Okay.
It's an intern. Bring in the intern.
It's the intern.
I got a joke for him.
Dude, real talk. I hope the beetle doesn't look like a triceratops. I'm just
that
saying.
would suck.
Can we keep it?
Oh,
You know that's going to be a Japanese beetle. The
absolutely.
freaking like 3-horned thing.
Yeah.
The ones that freaking the green and yellow ones that like
yeah.
fly. At least in Southern California, they do. They fly at you, and you're like, "What the hell is that?"
yeah. Yeah.
I bet you that's what that thing's going to look like—a big old giant dung beetle.
I just want to know the size of it. I bet it's gonna be huge, like you were saying.
He's gonna be like, he's gonna be rolling along a big old ball of shit.
Dung beetle.
Sorry, it's a family show.
It's the furthest thing from a family show.
There's gonna be the corpses of other players like just suspended in the shit ball, going.
Fighter in chat says, Mama said alligators are angry because they got all that pirate rum and no thumbs to hold it.
Oh my God. That is so good.
Mama's wrong again.
We take patch notes very serious over here at the Loreseekers.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
If it doesn't roll shit down the hill, I don't even want to fight it. That is glorious, dude.
Oh jeez.
Imagine that as an AoE attack. All right. Oh,
I want to
man.
keep talking about dung beetles. They're all sitting at the top of the hill just waiting for your party to cross by, and they're just like, roll it now!
The fight music starts playing.
Balls of poop coming down the hill.
You should have a debuff that when you run through town, you make people throw up after you fought them for like the next 10 minutes.
Oh man.
Will JB react the way he does when he sees peacocks?
Hey, that happened one
gonna
time on
freak out
stream.
when he sees
Just
a
one
beetle.
time, and then Cash decided to make it legendary with the short. So thanks, Cash, for ruining my life. So
That's what I do.
You got. We also have new enemy quests. So if you seek out Abigail Rose in the wilds of Western Everfall to get started on one of the 2 new quests available, which deal with the arrival of the Varangians. Is that right?
You're done real good, son.
Okay. I got real nervous there. I'm like, I'm gonna whiff or nail it. All right. So while their motives for coming south may remain a mystery, one thing seems clear: this is just an expeditionary force. More will come. Ooh, that's foreboding.
I love the fact that there's an infinite amount of content that they could drag into this, you guys.
Yes.
We're on Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Literally anything.
Anybody can show up on the island and blow our minds, and I think that sentence right there. While their motives for coming south may remain a mystery, one thing seems clear: this is just an expeditionary force. More will come. So as they introduce this new content, little bit at a time, it is a wide open field for them to put anything can hit these shores.
I want to see dinosaurs with pirate hats. I want a velociraptor with a pirate hat and an eye patch and one arm with a hook on it. I need to see this. I need this. AGS, please. Please.
Would it be
Could you imagine
or
that?
Angry Earth? Or
Dude,
what?
no.
We're
Just
spared no
a
expense.
new version.
Oh,
Reptilian.
just dinosaurs. Just dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, man. And when you run up to him, I want him to go, "Arr!" You know what I'm saying? And just
Well, one thing's for sure.
Aeternum becomes a Jurassic Park. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, one thing's for sure. I mean, they've really crossed a lot of time spans. There's a lot of generations. We've seen lore dating way back to like just a couple days ago to like centuries ago. So you could literally bring any time frame up, much less you're on an island. So any direction, any sort of species, bring it on. Like they have opened the door to the use, exactly what you said, Cash, to an infinite amount of possibilities.
That's the
think
best
about a
place to be in.
volcano exploding, right? And then dinosaurs come out of a cave that was closed. You know, you could take it back to Prime. You could have caveman style enemies. You know what I mean? You literally could have an entire genre around that basis of that time period. And you can do all the time periods. It's pretty awesome that they can pull from anything and that it's connected to our history.
Yeah.
So it's relevant to us and we can relate to it because we've learned about it our whole lives. As we were children, we sat in classes and learned about some of these cultures that we're fighting against or we're learning about in this game where they got trapped and now they're eternally trapped there. And why? Why are they eternally trapped there?
Right.
Those are the answers we're looking for. Hint the lore seeker.
Right. And I like the fact they didn't write themselves into a hole either. Like they have a wide breadth, you know, like that they can choose to pull from. That's great.
How cool would it be to have an island just off the coast, instance or not? Like maybe there's a load screen for you to get there or something, but there's an island of all just native people defending that island. Like they want you off their island, you know, like full, like Aztec, Amazonian, like see what I did there? Just like native people, and there's this island off the coast. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh!
It's a bunch of people with Amazon vests on. You said Amazons.
Welcome to our distribution center. Right.
This show.
So good.
Same day shipping.
Same day shipping. That's when they'll give us mail. That's where we get our mail from.
That's where you get the mail.
We will kill you. We will kill you, and we promise we will deliver your head in a nice box within 2 days.
A drone. Drones.
Oh, there
drones,
you go.
dude. It'll be a drone that flies over Aeternum. You know. Here's my mail.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So yeah, there's all kinds of good things coming. Not to belabor this too much more, but you've got new legendary weapon quests that are coming. You've got improved main storyline quests that are coming. This includes wave events, destructible objects, and proximity nodes for tracking. That third one sounds enticing. Let's see. You'll see more improvements of that along the way. For PvP faction missions, they teased this a while ago, but they've kind of detailed this a little bit here. So 3 new mission types are control points. These missions send you out to capture control of forts. Okay. That's good. We're kind of passively doing that anyway. It's good that it's a mission now. That'll force a whole lot more concentrated, smaller warfare happening there. Then you got intercept, defeat enemy faction members, and collect their tiers.
Yes, that is a full-on. That's a patrol, you guys. That is doing patrols and hunting other players.
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Did you notice when we were PvPing, when you kill people in overworld PvP, they drop gear?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is neat, dude. I mean, that is truly neat. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And maybe it has been in other games, but when we were in the middle of that graveyard fighting for Brightwood, and I killed that one guy and a purple item dropped off him, I was like, did he drop me something before he died? What the hell just happened?
This is for you.
Peace offering.
It's a love note to their wife.
Please stop hitting me. Take the damn gear.
Hit me so hard, my bitches to fall off. My cod piece. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, then you've got the war camp loot. Retrieve the hidden plans at the enemy war camp. You know, it'd be great if that actually happened. The dude's drawers falls off, and then you run back there, and they're still off. Oh.
Okay, so cycling back to actually being kind of serious. I love the war camp loot thing, and I like the fact that they have removed the hunt the wolves.
Yes.
In the area and hunt the animals in the area, because that's less PvP. It's really hard for groups.
Yeah.
When we roll as a big group, it's really hard for everybody to get that particular mission done. So they've added things in there that really kind of play more into the flavor of what war is and what PvP is. Subterfuge, flat out defeating enemies, taking capture control of forts, and actually like retrieving intelligence.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really cool. I dig that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely making that centralized more around straight PvP, which is, that's always a win.
Yeah.
Then you've got the new trading post experience. This is kind of the last part of this article here. Some bullet points on this. All trading posts have been linked and are now unified. All right. So you can buy and sell the same results from any trading post in the world. Fees for buy and sell orders, are defined by the settlement that you're posting from. Additionally, transaction taxes on purchases you make are defined by the settlement in which you are making the purchase. Items listed in sell orders that expire return to the settlement from which they are posted. So yeah, unifying trading posts. Kind of connecting the big world.
Yeah, I'm stingy when it comes to my Azoth, right? Like if I have to go somewhere in order to get a cheaper item that I need, I hate having to spend my Azoth to go to another settlement in order to get that from the trading post. So I'll be honest with y'all, this was huge for me. Right? Yeah. Like a unified, a universal trading post. I know it's just like every other MMO, but man, I tell you, like this is one of those quality of life things that I think it's the right answer. Honestly, it makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. Like the zones will still maintain that element of originality based off of the bonuses that they provide. You know, when you're owning these settlements, particularly the forts and whatnot. Yeah, and so I'm really intrigued to see what this does with the economy. From a proactive standpoint, like I really am enticed to see what happens. I like this, to be honest with you. I didn't think I would, but I really do. I look forward to seeing what happens.
I actually think that was a good point you just made. Like, I wonder if Everfall is going to be as desired. Right, because one of the main reasons you'd want Everfall is because that economy in that hamlet is phenomenal, right? So you want to take that over so you can get that economy and get that influx. But now that you've kind of taken that away, what is advantageous about Everfall anymore at that point?
It gives a balance. It gives a balance, right? Because before I was talking with some of the crafters and people, and I was like, well, if we get an area, we need to go out, get gear, and put it in the auction house where our area is, put it at decent prices, have availability of different things, put buy orders in, and make people come to us, right? Make them come to our economy, but now that they're doing this auction house as a split, now you can stay in your area, put the items on your area, and now it's going to be based on your ability to craft in your area, right? Or those types of things. So you're going to have to stay on top of the invasions, which I will tell you, the invasions are no joke. I think the furthest I've gotten an invasion is the 6th stage. And when those Spriggans come out, bruh, them things are nasty. But really? I think this is going to change. A lot of people had planning based off of auction house. Like on our server, it's Windsward. Windsward is the auction house. Right. And then the next one is Everfall, and they're right next to each other. This is going to change that because now people aren't going to go to Windsward just for the auction house. Now they're going to go to whatever place there's closest, which might be your section, right? They might be out in Reekwater and you own Reekwater. So they're going to go to your place to build stuff. Then, they've got a level 5 cooking place. I'm going to go cook my meals real quick. So it's going to give a little bit more of a across the board because people are going to be going out to every areas, whether you're gathering crafting mats or you're helping a friend do quests. It makes it easier for everywhere to be worthwhile, right? And so we talked about that in a few shows back. How are you going to make First Light a big deal? Put quests in it with new things, right? They're going to put these quests in where you're going to go to these the original areas, which is going to pull people down there. Very smart, very intelligent way to bring people back to the old content or the starter zones.
Yeah, good point by Van Kraken in chat. Unifying trading posts should really help with the resource scarcity in some towns. I think the benefit will outweigh the loss of profit for some individual gatherers and crafters.
Yeah,
so that's a good point.
It's exactly what Bruce was just saying, right? Like, why go to First Light? All the items at that trading post were level 1s and levels 2s. Why would you ever go back to that once you're level 30, 40, right? That's a great conversation.
Agreed. So there's all kinds of good things coming. And I look forward to trying this out on the PTR, to be honest with you. So anyway, for all of you tuning in, make sure you download the client, get in there, check it out, report the bugs, do all the things. But anyway, before we do the lore breakdown, we got a little something we want you to tune into. So we'll be right back.
Oh, hello there. Cassius Kilborn here, with a tip on adventuring. When you've been in the bush for an extended amount of time, swinging through hordes of ancient guardians, Your body is circulating blood at an increased rate. More blood circulating through the body results in increased hair growth. Increased hair growth in your nether regions leads to excess heat being trapped, which may create the presence of chafing, rash, and the dreaded ingrown hair. And gentlemen, lady adventurers don't appreciate a red, irritated, sweaty, and possibly pussy undercarriage.
Ew!
You may find yourself asking, how would one prevent such a condition? Well, it's quite simple, you see. Shave that shit. At manscaped.com, you can find products to tame your bush. Products such as the Lawnmower 4.0, a rechargeable, waterproof trimmer for your body hair with skin-safe technology to prevent a bloodletting while clipping your mess in the shower. When you're done with your shave, use Manscaped's Crop Cleanser, a gentle growing wash with a clean, prebiotic-infused formula loaded with vitamin E, aloe, and menthol to keep the boys soft, supple, and well hydrated. Because nobody wants dehydrated balls. These are just a couple of Manscaped's many products to keep you slick, shiny, and groomed. Manscaped, the right tools for the right job. Get 20% off of your order and free shipping at Manscaped with the discount code Loreseekers at manscaped.com today.
Oh my god.
That was awesome.
Oh man. It's the harp in the background with his accent. It's perfect. Dude. Good delivery.
That was good. That was
Oh,
good.
thank you. Oh, Cassius always has his balls nicely trimmed. There.
Oh. Lord breakdown. It's that time.
How do you go to
trans-
that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
From that to that, dude. I mean,
don't
we're
know.
gonna have to work on that placement because that is not.
Wow. That's kind of happened.
Can I just say I'm tired of you making me laugh tonight? So stop.
Sorry.
My stomach hurts, dude. I've got the best ab workout. Pre-show, this man had me laughing for like 20 minutes, and now we come. You got to quit.
Your abs are solid.
Hey, I took last week off, so sorry, man. I was
the thunder.
Yeah, I was coming back with a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning.
Well, you did a good job.
Let's talk about some lore, yo.
Let's go.
Go on.
Oh, you know what, bro? I deserve a bumper. I want a bumper.
Okay.
Where'd you put his bumper?
It's so magical when the bumper's in place. I love it.
There you go, Tucker Nuts.
You're such a prima donna.
I know.
It's such a prima donna.
It's like reading Rainbow right before he starts talking. That rainbow.
Friends, we are doing a lore lesson breakdown on, actually it was 2 weeks ago, our part 2 lore lesson on the ancients, and that series is going to continue because there's a lot to know. There's a lot to learn about the ancients. But in last week's episode, if you missed it, you can check it out on either the audio podcast or you can hit it up on the YouTubes where we have the video broken down for you. But tonight, we're going to talk about the foray that we had, the expedition, if you will, into Weaver's Fen and a bridge known as the Vega Bridge. Now, Vega, as you know, or may not, Vega is the brightest star in the constellation Lyra. And it's straight from a lore page called Starcross Meeting, Lyra shines luminously tonight over the bridge. So there's some stuff to talk about here. I think we're gonna touch on a few things. The first thing is, why the hell is that bridge there? Why the heck would they have made that bridge? It does span. If you've been down into Weaver's Fen, you kind of see where the bridge goes. It spans across the swamp, but it goes deeper. And the questions that we want to answer is, who actually constructed that bridge? Was it the Ancient Guardians? Can you go? No, go ahead.
I don't know. Do I lean in? I don't know. You have,
Saw you
a lot of
leaning in.
onions. Yeah, that's my cue. Have you picked up on that? Yeah, you have. All right. I think it's the Ancient Guardians. Here's the deal. I'm kind of getting to the idea. I think the Ancients were douchebags. And I think that they forced people against their will, completely changed them into the Ancient Guardians, and that was AKA their army. I also think that these guys were hiddenly just as evil as the rest of us Jokers who are on the island, for our own purposes. And I think that they totally enslaved these, whoever arrived at the island during the time they were there, and they were forced to do their bidding. One of those would be building these bridges.
And I like the concept of thinking of them as evil, just like everything else, right? Because you think of ancients, excuse me, when you think of ancients, you think of, and they're blue in color, right? So they almost seem like they give off a regal appearance. They've got some armor on and stuff, but in reality, I don't think they are. And I agree with you. I really think that they, like the priest that went back to get at the very beginning of the game in the first cutscene when he sent back, we have no idea if he was actually there for helping or if he was there to bring more souls to the island so they could take them over for their armies. Maybe they're replenishing their armies. Maybe because the map is going to grow, they need more bodies, more souls there to defend the ancients and defend what they're trying to keep away from whatever. So in essence, they're drawing you there with what you can get on the island to make you part of the island to defend it. Pretty cool concept.
Yeah, for me, maybe it's more fundamental for me. What are they trying to get over? Right, they're this being that obviously supersedes who we are as gamers, but they've built a bridge from where to where, and why do they have to build a bridge? So, like, for me, it's like, what are they trying to get over? What was the, I guess, tactical or strategic reason behind what they created? Whoever it was, whether it's the ancients or the point that's being debated. Why?
Well, perhaps, and we're going to get into a little lore page here, but perhaps there really is no reason for them to have built that bridge other than showcasing their grandeur. Because look at every single thing that depicts the ancients in the entire game. It's all adorned with what? Statues of the ancients, of them. So, I mean, I don't know, like how stuck up is that? I mean, they must have, certainly thought of themselves as the ultimate power, and they basically, I don't know, for all intents and purposes, maybe it's like a dog. They just wanted to like pee on every little corner of Aeternum to show that, that's mine, this is mine, that's mine, and mine. And it really leads us into this lore page reading. This lore page is called The Road. The rattle of bone, a watchful eye, their humanity removed, their death denied. I see it. I see a giant stone statue being marched slowly but surely down the path. The same beings, those of four, guide us down the long and mystic road. The giant statue is carved in their image. Those who move the statue are trapped in servitude, unable to deny or disobey, for what has been taken from us cannot be restored, and what has been given to us cannot be returned. I hear them sing songs as they move the massive stone, and the melodies ring in my ears like a bittersweet memory I never had.
I immediately think like Egyptian slaves, right? Like,
yeah.
Right.
Oh, nice pull.
Like carrying the stones on their backs and being beaten as they're building in servitude of the ancients, right?
Yeah, that's a great parallel.
That was the thing.
You think about how they looked at the Egyptians. The Egyptians came off as gods. The ancients maybe portrayed themselves as gods, even if they weren't, and had them erect these statues to make that more evident. Because you remember all of the pharaohs, they projected themselves as gods. Think about the movie 300, and the core enemy, he was thought of as a god until the spear cut him and the blood came out, and he was shown to be. So maybe they did that to portray themselves as gods when in essence they aren't. Maybe they are corrupted or controlled by the ancients, or they are the ancients, and all the ancients are the keeper of the powers. Right. So they're making themselves out to be gods to maybe make people worship them so they can take them over easily. Because if you see something as a god, then you see them as something that can support you, help you, maybe make your life better. they use that in manipulation to get you to believe in them. We're the ancients. We're the just. We're the come here, dumbass. We're going to take your soul and make you carry these rocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a good concept.
It's actually interesting that you would say that they were trying to portray themselves as gods, because we're going to dive into that part next week. So it's a great parallel. I wish I could just cover it all right now because it's really good stuff. But so one of the things that this did for me in particular is, if you look at the perspective of how this lore page was written, and we're gonna read some more here, but that lore page was written, from what I can gather, by one of those in servitude, which would have been one of their ancient guardians. And it blows me away that the ancients are watching them as they carry this giant statue down the road, and the person who is the being that is writing this is perceived to be an ancient guardian. So this leads us to believe that ancient guardians, although they can't talk, they can process thought, and they can write about their experiences.
It's interesting. So they're way more cognitive than we thought.
Yes, and it's very similar to the corrupted. That was a mystery that the corrupted had that's gotten uncovered. They're not just mindless husks.
So I'm gonna push back just a little bit. Let's do this little dance. I think if you read like the last sentence, he talks about them in the third person, almost as if he's not one of the enslaved. I hear them sing songs as they move the massive stones, and the melodies ring in my ears. And it's almost as if he's talking about, those who move the statues are trapped in servitude. Not really the people of themselves, but those that are moving the statues. So is it a squire? Is it somebody who maybe is a slave, but in a different capacity than one that's having to build these structures? It's a weird dynamic.
For me, I think the way it is spoken is speaking from someone who has a high regard for themselves, and they're looking down at them as servants. And that's why I think it's an ancient that spoke this, because I feel like there's some condescension in the text. And that's where I gather my thought process. I feel like it's an ancient talking about the servants in a position of where I feel sorry for these things, but we need them. Maybe that's it.
Very interesting point by Tellarian Gaming in chat. They might have mastered the power of Aeternum at their height, and their corruption poisoned their power. I want you to hold on to that thought as we progress here through this lore breakdown, because that's a very good thought. Another real quick thing here that I want to make mention of is that they say, I hear them sing songs as they move the massive stone, and the melodies ring in my ears like a bittersweet memory I never had. That one kind of resonates with me, because in this lore lesson, we do talk about the ships. As those ships get closer to shore, the crews of those ships being overtaken and hearing some kind of a mesmerizing melody.
Sirens.
And yeah, sirens. Siren Queen. Could it potentially be the Siren Queen is luring people in, and her song plays for these enslaved as they do the will of the ancients? Speculation? I don't know. Let's hit this next lore page. It's called The Flood. It's called The Flood. Truths drowned, resting under the surface, hiding away ancient sins, hiding away ancient curses. I see them, the beings with 4 arms. I feel myself sinking under the water, my ears only hearing bubbling and sloshing. As I hold my breath, my chest tightens as my strength leaves me. I can't sense what, but something is pulling me under the surface, and soon I shall run out of air. As my mind leaves me and my body begins to end its thrashing, I feel the waters surge within me. My lungs begin to fill, but oddly enough, it's not a cold wave entering the core of my body. I feel the water permeating my being, penetrating even to my very bones. I feel as if what was in me is driven out and replaced by the waters. As I break my bondage and rise to the surface, my mind comes back to the world around me.
You know, in this one, it's almost like they're illustrating a person undergoing the transformation, right? From human to ancient guardian or ancient servant. But what grabs me the most about this is the story about Isabella and when she drowns her own crew members. You know, and that was one of them the one that wrote this page? You know what I mean? Because that is what she did to them. She drowned them and then they resurrected. So in this situation, how are they writing about the experience if they're mindless? If they don't have a concept of humanity or a concept of language, and this is obviously someone discussing undergoing the transformation from human to ancient, how are they writing this if they're not intelligent enough to write it, right?
Right.
Kind of says that they wrote their own lore pages. It kind of says that they wrote their own history. And does this prove that they have a process of thought and the ability to communicate, whether it be through voice or through writings?
See, I see that, you know, like talking about the transition. I see this particularly, you know, after the first, was it three sentences. I see the very first part, which I'm kind of going back to the point about the ancients. Truth's drowned, resting under the surface, hiding away ancient sins, hiding ancient curses. I see them, the beings with the four arms. They are pronouncing this, like they're emphasizing the previous statement when they say it, when they finalize it by saying the beings with the four arms. So everything previously stated is describing the beings with the four arms in my mind. So that's when I look at that, I see truths drowned. So this person is saying, hey, they're drowning the truths. They're resting under the surface. They're hiding away their ancient sins, hiding away their ancient curses. So I look at this as further accentuating a point that the ancients were not good. The ancients were evil, and they are trying to hide away their sins in these big monoliths, these huge, you know, temples that they've set their ancient guardians, who have no choice regardless to keep hidden.
What if this isn't a transformation? What if this is you dying and being resurrected? What if this is that experience, right? Instead of you transitioning from a human to an ancient, what if this is just the death cycle that you go through every time you die and come back?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's so many different unknown concepts, but they all make sense. I love your pull on that first part because I didn't see it that way until you said that. And now that I read that, I agree with you. I feel like they're describing the direction that the ancients were taking. They're hiding behind false godhood, right? They're not letting you know that you're not supporting something that's out for your better good. They're out for your control to make you their slave. That's a good catch.
Thanks.
Yeah, the thing that hits me about this one is that the second paragraph, as my mind leaves and my body begins to end its thrashing, I feel the waters surge within me. My lungs begin to fill, but oddly enough, it's not a cold wave entering the core of my body. And it goes on to just describe this experience of losing your life. I feel as if what was in me is driven out, replaced by the waters. I wonder if the feeling that the ancient guardians have all the time is this feeling of drowning. You know, I think of that and and that makes me like clam up, like, oh my God, I could not imagine that feeling of drowning at all times. And maybe that feeling is what continues to drive them into this eternal servitude that the ancients had on them all the time. Maybe that's what drives them to carry these giant statues across the landscape, because maybe there's a promise of that feeling going away eventually.
Right. And Tolarian Gaiman made a good point. Could be like in Canada, Oak Island. They built the bridge, then flooded the entire area of the Fen, hid to hide something secret while leaving the bridge to distract the area. So the bridge is just there to get you to think there's something else, because they're trying to make you focus on the bridge and not what they're actually trying to hide, right? So all these big structures might have been erected just to make you wonder what they are and not look right below your feet, or if the enemy's right in front of you, you're too busy looking at the big structure and not the little thing, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that because that just crossed my mind. What if this part of the island was underwater? Right? Like what if back in the day when the bridge was built, none of that existed. The marshlands didn't exist. Weaver's Fen didn't exist, but they had to have a bridge to cross the water.
And now something rose it,
Yeah.
and now it's above ground, which is why it's marshy, and you can stop complaining. Hey, Zeus, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It's okay that you have to slow down and walk the roads. Stop complaining about the water.
It's I love the thought. I love the theory about the deflection, from something greater. And the next lore page kind of ties into that a little bit, where perhaps the tower that I'm about to talk about. I mean, if you could think of one tower, there is absolutely one tower in all of Aeternum that everybody can recognize. Perhaps this tower is also deflecting to get everybody's attention, but deflecting, away from the true evil. So I'll read this. This is actually available from Gildan of Morningdale, and it's called The Tower. A darkened sky akin to night, stars above and a blinding light. I see it. I see the giant obelisk in the distance. The night sky is dotted with stars, and I wonder what is beyond them. Perched on high at the top of Vela, my vision blankets all of Aeternum, and the watchtowers dot the landscape like spires from the earth. But something is wrong. The energy, it seems to gather into a massive orb, summoning a power I have never seen before, and at the apex of its growth, it explodes. The obelisk shatters, sending a shockwave all over the island that rocks me to my core. I fall over and try to fix my vision on the burst of light and energy that reminds, and what I see shocks me. Frozen in space, frozen in time. The obelisk stands shattered but still together, destroyed but not. Trapped in a single moment, and that explosion, that shatter, echoes in my head.
This to me is the mystery. Like I can wrap my head around the eastern flare of Ebon Rock or Ebonscale Reach. I can wrap my head around maybe an Egyptian flare of the ancients, but the obelisks are the only otherworldly thing that like I truly feel has to be explained. It's coming from somewhere. It's what got you to the island. It's what crashed your ships. It's what got you there. And that is the first thing that you really see as a landmark as a gamer. It puts you there. There's an expedition there that you go through. But I don't think it's a deflection, quite honestly, Cash. I truly think like that is the true source of all the evil that's going on this island. I think it's almost like a capsule, right? Like I think it's able to communicate. It's a source. It's almost as if what causes the disruption around it. So I truly think that is the source of the mystery here, in my opinion.
It's definitely the culmination of the power. And I think when that blew up, something happened. I think that could be that exploitation of the Azoth, the experiments that the ancients were said to have been doing with the Azoth. I think that was like, whoops, we done broke it. and that was it.
What about the big round balls that we always talk about, right? We always speculate they might be power sources, they might be batteries. What if they were propelled out to the world when the obelisk was exploded? And what if they are something more, right? What if they're something that has a corruption to it? Like maybe it's a seed, right? Maybe it's something that internally gives off that energy to slowly transform you in. Maybe it's part of that because they're randomly placed, but they're in specific spots, right? And they're if I'm going to go in game after this and I'm going to look at the lay of these balls and see if I can figure out if they are in a circle, half circle, or anything like, because I want to see a projection of that.
You're going to look at the lay of the balls?
Lay of the balls. Manscaped.
Loreseekers, 20% off.
No, I love that you brought that up because, you run by them all the time, and some of them are are massive. Some of them are smaller, but they're all inset into the ground as if these heavy things once were in the air and landed in the ground and inset themselves into the ground. And I don't know what they are. My speculation from where we have seen them is still, like you said, I truly believe that those giant cubes of looks like cement rock, I really think that those held large amounts of Azoth at one point.
They're round, cubes are squared, right?
They're round cubes. Did I say that?
It's a cube, and I got confused as hell because I was like, "Wait, I've been using that word wrong the whole time." Okay, good.
I meant sphere. I meant sphere.
You're smart. You're the smart one here, so I wanted to make sure I hadn't been calling it that wrong the whole time in my entire life.
Apparently not. Yeah. So anyway, that's my thought. Any closing thoughts, friends, on breaking down the lore? We went a little deep there, so.
I think, again, to repeat what was said earlier, I think it's really awesome that AGS, the New World writers, can literally go any direction they want to, and it's all valid. It's all valid. Like right now, we're so in the infant stage of this story. They can make it as big as they want, and we're along for the ride. Every single angle we're looking at this is exciting. It doesn't matter if it's the obelisk versus the ancients. It's all exciting. How we get there is the fun part, right?
Right.
Yeah, the speculation I think is the most fun that I've been having anyway. I mean, like that's why it's taken me so long to level up to max, because I literally just wander around looking at shit like a lot. I wonder what that is. We'll take a screenshot of that.
It's almost as if you're seeking lore.
It is almost as if I'm seeking lore.
Tomorrow you ain't seeking nothing but levels, because I'm gonna put a chain around your neck and I'm dragging you all the way across Aeternum.
So, friends, we are slowly unwrapping some of the mystery of the ancients and how their empire expanded, and it's very intriguing to kind of go through this and talk about it as a group. We have discovered, not much unlike the corrupted, the ancient guardians retain their ability to process dot. They perform tasks, although they can't talk. So next week, we're going to release the third installment of our lore lesson on the ancients, and we're going to dive a little bit more into what we think that they were modeled after and where they came from.
There you go. Boom. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. This was Loreseekers, the podcast for New World, and everyone here on stream. Thank you so much for everyone who's tuning in on release day of this episode. You want to come be a part of the live show? You can. Twitch.tv/LoreseekersCast. Follow us on our social media accounts, which you'll find out where those are in just a minute to keep up with the tales. But hey, we want to hear from you. We want feedback. Tell us how we're doing. Whatever podcast app you're using, however you tune in. If you can, if it offers it, leave us a review. We want to hear from you. For every 5-star review that we get on iTunes, though, we will read your review right here on the show. Champ?
You can call us at 765-382-6961. Please keep your message to 1 minute or less. Email us at loreseekerscast@gmail.com. You can find our podcast, written lore lessons, and articles at loreseekerscast.com.
Friends, follow us on the socials. You can follow us on Twitter. Jibs is at JibsIRL. Champ is at Champ2504. Sullus is at Sullus. And myself, Loreseeker Cash. The Cash is with a K. Follow the show on Twitter at LoreseekersCast. You can also follow us on Instagram at LoreseekersCast.
And next week, Loreseekers to Aeternum, our second show, will be back. Where yours truly presents the company's storyline in a role-playing setting. We also talk community and company management in New World and gaming abroad. Also follow us on Twitch right here, twitch.tv/LoreSeekersCast. Love you all.
Friends, have a great week. Have a good time in New World. And we'll see you right here next week on Loreseekers.